While large language models, LLMs, can answer a lot of queries, they struggle with activities like getting out of a chair that need precise, real-time control of human muscle movements. Adaptive, dynamic decision-making presents a significant challenge for these models, despite their ability to develop plans for basic and repetitive operations. When talking about physically demanding activities like driving a car or doing something delicate, this becomes quite clear. Unfortunately, LLMs are still unable to handle the fine-grained physical coordination needed to carry out a task in real time, even though they can give methods or solutions at a high level. When designing fully autonomous systems, like Tesla and #039, SFSD technology, which relies on quick and adaptive decision-making, their constraints are a big factor to consider. Impressive technological breakthroughs and groundbreaking innovations have brought FSD version 12.3 a great deal of attention. Midterm planning, in particular the 20 to 30-second window, is critical for adaptive decision-making in real-world dragging scenarios. Nonetheless, the system still has room for improvement in this area. Regardless, it makes use of route planning applications like Google Maps. It has a hard time anticipating the kinds of short-term changes that occur in real-world driving circumstances. Here, new architectural developments like the Vertical Generalized Architecture, VGA, can offer the solution required to overcome these constraints. As discussed in a recent conversation with Lex Friedman and Yen Lun, several of the present problems with Tesla and #039, SFSD technology were studied in relation to the concept of VGA. The idea of VGA needs to be explored before we can go into the specifics of their discourse. More doable ones. Prioritizing important objectives and further breaking them down into sub-goals enables an AI system to better manage tasks that entail several phases, like traveling from one place to another. It is not required, for instance, to plan out every single detail of a voyage from New York to Paris. Step 1 would be to establish some high-level objectives, like getting to the airport in time for your trip. For example, getting a cab to the airport and clearing security are examples of more manageable sub-goals that are derived from these larger, more abstract aims. The whole process can be made more doable by further refining each of these basic goals into even smaller phases. While the idea of hierarchical planning holds promise, it is not easy to apply to AI systems. The difficulty in anticipating every aspect of a work, particularly in the presence of unknown variables, is one obstacle that could develop. For example, if you and #039, replanning a trip from New York to Paris, last-minute problems like plane delays or misplaced bags can throw a wrench into your plans. This is relevant for both travel and autonomous driving because of the unpredictable and fast-paced nature of real-world driving circumstances. Thus, one of the major challenges for autonomous systems like Tesla and #039, SFSD system is the complexity of planning jobs that involve several steps. Presently, Tesla and #039, SFSD technology navigates the globe using a combination of top-down and micro-level planning. Using both historical data and current information about the vehicle and #039's environment, it employs high-level tactics like route assistance through services like Google Maps. As an example, it is capable of detecting surrounding road signs, pedestrians, cars, and obstructions. When it comes to scenarios that call for quick changes or nuanced decisions, FSD falls short in the 20 to 30-second planning range. Human-driven jobs, like driving, necessitate more adaptive, real-time decision-making. Some businesses, like Vidya, are trying to solve this problem by including hierarchical planning into their AI systems. This includes Tesla. By utilizing many layers of abstraction, this method enables systems to plan actions more efficiently. Low-level actions are guided by high-level plans. Nevertheless, connecting general, overarching goals with the specific, real-time control required for activities like driving remains a formidable obstacle, even with these advancements. Solving this task will require lightning-fast reflexes and an understanding of the nuances of real-world driving circumstances. The experts also touched on the possibility of LLMs, long language models, helping with task planning throughout the interview. Long short-term memories, LLMs, may learn from massive datasets and then use those patterns to inform their plan generation. Having said that, they aren't and #039 perfect when it comes to coming up with strategies for fresh or unusual circumstances. For instance, an LLM could come up with a strategy for a mundane task, like driving from A to B in a familiar area, but it might have trouble in a completely new setting, like navigating a metropolis it has never been trained on. Here we see the relevance of embodied AI. The term embodied ADD describes systems that mimic human learning by interacting with the physical environment. Embodied ADD can learn from its surroundings by seeing it, feeling it, and adjusting its behavior appropriately, rather than from abstract representations or pre-programmed commands. When the system needs to comprehend and react to sudden and unexpected changes in its surroundings, as is the case with autonomous driving, this sort of learning is crucial. Joint Embedded Predictive Architecture, JEPA, is a promising development in embodied AI that has the potential to greatly improve robots and #039 capacity for real-time job planning and execution. JEPA is centered around predictive modeling, which enables systems to foretell future occurrences using their present knowledge of the world. For uses like autonomous driving, where decisions must be made in real time, this is an essential feature. In order to better plan their operations and adapt to changing conditions, AI systems can benefit from JEPA and #039's prediction capabilities. The presentation of VIPA, Meta and #039's new artificial intelligence architecture, which aims to transform machine learning and interaction, was essential to this conversation. Unlike the goal of more conventional generative models, which is to produce images of the environment with exact pixel details, VIPA employs a more theoretical strategy by making predictions about segments of video data that are absent. Learn more effectively and gain a deeper grasp of the environment around AI systems with VIPA by focusing on comprehending the substance of a scene rather than recreating every detail. To function, VIPA uses region masking to anticipate what will happen in locations where video data is not present, eliminating the necessity for the resource and time-intensive process of fine-tuning is the goal of this technique. When compared to how infants learn via observation, VIPA is able to autonomously learn from raw video footage. Important for uses like autonomous driving, this learning process enables VIPA to foretell future occurrences based on its comprehension of the surroundings. Reducing the computational resources needed for training AI systems is one of the most significant advantages of VIPA and #039's technique. In contrast to VIPA, which can learn from the far more common unlabeled data, traditional AI models frequently depend on massive volumes of labeled data to train their algorithms. This simplifies the process of training AI systems using massive volumes of real-world data, such as the billions of miles of driving footage collected by Tesla. Through this training, VIPA will be able to gain a detailed comprehension of complicated, real-life situations, allowing them to make better decisions as they happen. Due to its efficiency, VIPA can be taught with less time and resources than conventional models.